And so I started going to therapy, and I was going 3 times a week because I was off my rocker, and I was young too. Like I had to like learn how to process these things. It wasn't like I was older. And one day I did something well, like was coping well or something. And so I went in and I was like, yeah, so I felt like this and I did this. And my therapist was like, that is great. Like, this is good. This is good progress. I was like, okay, well, that validation feels good. So I started going in and absolutely lying to this woman. Like I'm not even a good liar. Like I'm a terrible liar. And she should have seen, like she's a therapist. She should have seen right through this. But I was people pleasing her the way I did with everybody. Literally the like reason I was in therapy. So then once she graduates me from 3 days a week to 2 days a week, 2 days a week to 1 day a week. And then I come home one day and I'm like, Mom, like she said, I don't have to come anymore. And my mom was like, you had 4 panic attacks yesterday. What are you talking about? I'm like, no, she said I'm doing well. My mom's like, did she? I bamboozled her. And I never went to her again because... Is it working?
Again, gonna be a lot of singing in this episode. Surprisingly, it's not gonna be me.
You should have been part of the music episode.
No, okay. Have her introduce yourself. Say your full first, middle, and last.
Give us
and
a slate.
Where you're from and your favorite color today.
And talking to the mic. You can
Where should I look?
You can move it wherever you want.
Every time I try and move it, I'm moving this.
You can move the table too.
That's what I've been doing.
It moves this way, and like this.
Wow.
That's your camera. You can look right into the camera.
Okay.
Yeah, I should say, if you need any dramatic moments, which you're obviously going to use, there's your camera. That's why she's asking.
Yeah.
We're saying just look at her. She's like, no, I'm really going to need to know what my shot is.
I'm going to need to know where the camera is. Okay.
First, middle, last, where you're from, what's your favorite color today?
Favorite color today. My name is Sophia Alberico. I'm from Long Grove, Illinois. And my favorite color today is probably brown.
Okay. How would you describe your personality? Just so that everyone that's going to be listening can just really settle in.
My personality? I feel like pretty...
just...
The fact you were going to say, like...
mellow. The fact that you even just saw your hand and went, that's not me.
Yeah.
This? No. We're like...
I don't even know the words. I don't think there's a word for it.
We should just let everybody experience the tornado that Sophia is.
You describe my personality.
I know my answer to this. If you were an animal, what would you be?
A monkey.
Okay, that's not mine, but why do you say that?
Because they're my favorite.
You can't just be your favorite. You're just
and they
your
like
favorite
to
person.
climb. And they're brown.
Okay, now this is why you're this animal and not a monkey. I think you are a little puppy.
Thanks.
You can pull it. You can pull it towards you so you can lean back.
You're always...
There we go.
You're always ready to play, and you're always just like right there. You're like, Sophia, you want to go for a walk? You're like, okay. You're just ready to be happy at any moment of time when you just give a little sprinkle to her. She goes off. So you're a puppy.
I respect that.
And Cheney is the exact opposite of a puppy.
I'm like the oldest dog that's about to die. I have
with
no
all the
energy.
gray hair.
Yep.
You can't stand up.
And then Sophia's the one that's running around your feet, nipping at you.
Yeah. I shit everywhere, piss everywhere.
Let's play. Okay.
You are probably the new favorite.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Who was the orig?
Alex.
Yeah.
Was Alex Ware here in town?
No.
Why did I just see her?
She was in July. Beginning of July.
Okay. Maybe that was an old post
like a
that
month
Lacey
ago?
put up. What?
Like a month ago?
Well, I feel like Reverie just posted something about her being there for a class.
Yeah, that was in July.
Oh, okay.
July.
Okay.
They might
Okay.
have done a recap. I don't know.
A little recap.
Mm.
What was I going to ask you? So you only have one sibling,
Me?
correct?
3
False. I knew that. But you're the oldest.
Yes. Can't you tell the way I fight for attention? That maybe I have a lot of people to fight with attention for.
Is very surprising you're the oldest.
Oh,
That's
people
fine.
usually say the opposite.
I would
think
you'd
you
be
are
the
the
youngest.
No.
Why? She
You have younger sibling energy.
she has puppy energy.
Yes.
See, comes back.
Because like I feel like I have puppy energy with my family.
See, what I
She
would
just has it
say
all the
to
time.
that is probably because when you see me, I'm around all people who are older than me. So I'm always the youngest. And so I'm like filling a different position than I'm typically.
So wait.
Are you super calm at your family? With your family?
Yeah. More so than
Is this
anywhere else.
another
Anywhere else. She went, well, but you guys don't know me like this. Oh, no.
Are you the funniest one?
No.
Okay, so
Really?
I got to break it down. So
This is why I
Yep.
don't like you though. Is because you're funnier than me.
I
And that really upsets me. We just did a podcast with my family and it was just a debate of who's the funniest.
with the first city that you were at this last season, I remember you texting me in the middle of the day at random, I don't like Sophia. And I'm like, really? Like, I really feel like you would like her. Like, I really like her. And then it's just a follow-up text. Well, because she's funnier than me, that makes you really mad.
Yeah.
I don't like Sophia.
I don't like it. It's not fun.
Okay, so you have I know your sister, but who is your other sibling?
So it goes me and then my brother. He's 19. He's the only boy. And then Lucia that you know, 17. And then my youngest sister's 15.
How cool is that name? Lucia. Also, you don't know who this is, but there's a dancer who got big as a kid, and her name is Sophia Lucia. So when
That's
you
a
told me that her name was Lucia, I was like, no, it's not.
Yeah, everyone thinks I'm kidding.
No.
And then they were like, did your mom name you guys after Sophia Lucia? And I'm like, I think we were maybe around first.
We're born.
Yeah,
We're born first.
we were born
first.
We were alive.
Does Tim
We're
only have
established.
Grace?
And he has a brother, Colin.
Oh, so you have, okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, I'm just putting it together. Tim and Grace are siblings?
Yeah,
Like Grace with an E.
Grace.
Oh,
Grace. No, not
No,
Grace.
not
Grace.
Grace C.
Grace,
With an E.
yes, with an E.
The knee.
She
That's right,
is
that's right.
Tim's sister, and Lacey is their aunt.
awesome.
She really is sticking with the fam. You're really just burrowing yourself into a whole next situation. Okay, going deeper with your school situation. So she's going to be a little school teacher. So, okay, break down what do you want to do if you know? Do you want to go into the school system and do that? Are you wanting to, is that just for right now?
So, I don't really know
'Kay.
exactly, but when I was first choosing my major, I would originally wanted to go for dance, and then one day I was like, maybe I want to go for education. And Mom was like, no, you're not going to get any scholarship money, so go for dance. I was like, okay, but part of me wanted to teach, and so I went for dance, and then I started a dual enrollment program with my master's in primary education and dance as my undergrad. So I did that. I finished my undergrad, and then I have a couple more months of my master's. And so education right now, I really wanted it to supplement my dance teaching abilities. That's the majority of the reason I wanted to get that degree, because I feel like there are a lot of dance teachers in the world, but not a lot of dance educators. And so I wanted to kind of fill that gap. But I do really love the classroom environment.
And is it strictly the younger ones? Like you would not want to teach olders?
No.
No.
I love the little.
Where would you cut is first grade where you would cut it?
Maybe second grade if I'm like desperate for a job.
Okay.
But
what would it be first grade, or would you want to do lower than that?
I would love kindergarten.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to do preschool. My mom was like, "You can't teach preschool with a master's degree. That's
Right.
a waste of
anyone
money."
anyone can teach preschool.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Like
Right.
anybody walk in the door.
There
and
are
teach
some
preschool.
programs that are like.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
There are some early childhood like development programs that do require a higher degree, but we'll see. So right now I'm student teaching, so I can get my degree and just kind of get a feel for it. I don't think I'm going to teach in a classroom immediately. However, down the line, it would be really nice to be on that schedule.
Yeah.
Like the 8 to 3 or 4
with kids.
with kids, having summers off, weekends. Like once have a family, that would be very ideal, but I don't know if I could leave dance. So we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Okay. And you want a lot of kids.
I don't think I'm going to have a lot of kids, but I want a lot of kids.
And does Tim want a lot of kids? Timmy?
No. He wants 3.
You can't have 3.
Gotta at least double that.
I know. We're at least all in the same wave. Like, I don't want as many as maybe you guys would want.
Jamie
but
and I?
I'm
Like-
like 5, 6.
I feel like 4. Like 3
I
or
would
4
like
would
4,
be decent.
5.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
I think we all love kids.
Mhm.
So
you
I could
imagine
see
if
us
we
really enjoying it.
All have like 5 kids, and then we have
We're going to have the greatest.
cool vacations together. There's like 15 people at these, and it's just our families.
I know. That's what I always talk about with Abby, because she sent me this video of like this 5-year-old and 3 to 5-year-old like running. I don't know if it's like a full. How long is a marathon?
26 miles.
Yeah.
What's the one where they do like the swimming and the biking
A
triathlon? It's like a mini triathlon for babies or toddlers, and they run it. She's like, every year we can just meet up and do this. The kids can do this.
That sounds
Yeah.
like exactly what the two of you are going to do.
But your dream scenario, again, I've been telling my dad this, and he was like, okay, I can see that. Like, your dream scenario is to live in Wisconsin up north.
Which I get when you grow up in Illinois,
Yeah. Well, we talk about that. Like,
because Illinois is the worst state.
It's terrible.
From
It is.
a
So you
fellow
agree?
I agree.
Illini.
we did a
Oh,
podcast driving
absolutely.
in, and the first 10 minutes was him just shitting on Illinois.
No, it's so, I mean, like, I love the town that I live in. But it's also, it's not even a town. It's a village. We don't even have a police department. It's small, and it's like, they film Hallmark movies in our little downtown that you can walk to from my house. So I love it there.
Wow.
Okay.
And but that also is not even like Chicago's a cool city, but like I don't need to live in it.
Right.
That's kind of
Right.
us with Florida, though. It's like we really like where we live, but we probably wouldn't live anywhere else in Florida.
No.
You know, it's like we
You don't
found the
wanna
spot that
live
we
on
really
Disney
like. but-
property.
No.
To each their own, I guess.
I want to live by the beach. Otherwise, like, what's the point?
Oh, I agree.
Then I feel like you're just dealing with
Heat and nowhere to cool down.
The
I mean,
big
I
problem.
I guess. Sure, it's just hot. If that's your only struggle in life, is just I have nowhere to cool down. Then yeah, I guess.
But you don't have AC.
But it's just pretty where we live,
Yeah.
and we're close to the beach. It's like a small beach town, but it's still nice. It's not
There
gross.
are a lot of old people where you live. That
Yeah.
would be a draw for me.
Oh,
Older-
it
older
would.
than
Yes.
us. Yeah.
Yes. Besides them driving really bad.
Like it's like a lot of retired or like snowbirds.
Yes. Which that's honestly kind of nice though, because then during the winter
right.
everyone's there, but during the summer you get a little bit of a break. No one's really there.
Yeah.
The roads are clear. There's no one at the beach. But even where we live, it's such a small town vibe that we'll go to the beach any day of the week, and you're never like around
Yeah.
anybody really.
Yeah.
It's not like a party
No,
Florida town
right.
because everyone is 60 plus.
It's not Fort Lauderdale.
No.
No.
It's not Miami. Like you could get that, and we're only like an hour and a half away from that. We obviously would never participate in that, but no, teach their own. I like where we live, but we were talking about that. Like our kids are going to be Florida kids. Like their normal is the beach and seeing palm trees everywhere.
Yeah.
That would be our
Like
vacation to where
yeah.
now they're gonna come here and be like how you see
Snow!
it, like how you're gonna see, like, this is their paradise,
Right.
like they're gonna see a lake and be amazed.
Mm-hmm.
To where
And
we're
they
like,
can actually get in the lake. It's like down there, there's alligators that are
right.
Yeah,
in
there's
every.
not those here.
Where in Wisconsin do you want to live?
Minocqua area. Up there.
That's
Northwoods.
yeah, that is that like the main town up there, right?
Yeah.
That's
like the most well known.
okay, yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
In that area, it's north of Wausau. If you know Wausau.
Yep. Yeah, my family used to do big camping trips in Boulder Junction.
Yeah,
which
it's
is
like
right
20
next
minutes
to
from
there.
Boulder
Okay,
Junction.
then yes,
Yeah.
I know where that is.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like the Dells, and it gives Dells vibes. No, I disagree.
I
Okay.
wouldn't. I mean, there's not
Water park.
12
Well,
water parks.
I guess. But I'm saying like the downtown Minocqua areas, the shops and the t-shirt
downtown
places.
Minocqua. Yeah. It's like touristy downtown Minocqua. We go a little bit west of Minocqua.
You're like, it's the Dells, but nothing. There's nothing. Like,
No, I see. It's like a Wisconsin downtown. Like that's what
Yes.
it is. Like
Yes.
t-shirt shop, coffee shop, candy shop. Like yeah,
But yeah, minus all the water parks.
right. No water parks, just lakes. Yeah, we go a little west of Minocqua to Lac de Flambeau, which is by the Native American reservation.
You go on the lake a lot. Like
So,
that's like your summer jam. It
yeah,
seems like.
every weekend, basically. We go to Twin Lakes usually, which is like right on the border
Okay.
of Illinois and Wisconsin because it's 30 minutes away.
Okay.
That's where we go most weekends, or we'll go to Lake Geneva. And
Dang, so you drive this way that many times?
yeah, you come here a lot.
And did you like that before being with Tim?
Yeah, so our families both vacationed up near Minocqua. His family had a house, and we would just go up there for the summers. And my family had a lake house. Well, they still have it in Palmyra, Wisconsin. It's like 20 minutes from Lake Geneva,
I've
but
heard
it's
of it.
small.
Okay.
It's near Whitewater. And my other uncle had a house in Whitewater.
Okay.
So like I grew up on the lake, and then his family did too. So now it's
It's a good blend.
yeah,
Do your families hang out with each other?
all the time.
Well, okay, so did they hang out or were they comfortable or aware of each other probably because of dance?
Yeah, they
beforehand?
knew each other before Tim and I knew each other. They wouldn't like necessarily hang out at that time, but Lucia and Grace were on the same team. So like they were dance moms together.
Yes.
And so yeah, they knew of each other. And so like it was basically for a long time my mom telling me to go out with Tim because
She knew.
she knew him.
She knew him.
Yeah.
So what's your origin story with him?
With Tim. Well, the first time he like reached out to me, I was 14. It was after a showcase, like our recital, and he DM'd me on Instagram, and he was like,
Good moves.
yeah, he was like, you did a great job tonight. Something like you looked great. I don't know.
Solid.
I have it somewhere. And I was like, thanks.
Thanks.
And he responded to that like the two, like a back and a forth. And then he said, why don't like, or I can give you my number so we can stay in contact. And I was like, in contact? Like, we're in contact. And like at the time,
What are you,
I
my
was
manager? Try to be my manager?
You like talk to my
Yeah, I was
people.
like,
You're like in contact.
And, like,
You're in
I
contact
knew
with me
who he
right
was, but I like couldn't even probably. I mean, I could probably pick him out in a crowd, but like, I was like, this is. And I mean, I was a freshman.
And
in
how
high
old was he?
school.
Wait, what's the age difference?
He's a year older than me, so he was
Got it.
15. He was about to be like 16, I think.
But did you know him as Grace's brother?
Yeah. Like
Okay,
that's
so
it.
he was like around
And
somewhat.
he would do the props and stuff. Like he was a prop dad.
He was a prop dad before he has
So I
the
like
kids.
knew him as like a prop dad. So
Okay. I remember. Pause. I remember when he came to. I don't know if it was it was Nationals. I think when we were at the Kalahari, maybe. And I just like saw him moving the props, and I was like, wait, I've seen that guy in Sophia's pictures. But I didn't know like that he was Grace's brother. Like I didn't know any of the connections. And I was like, Sophia, do you have your boyfriend traveling with the studio that you don't go to anymore just to do props?
Yes.
And she's like, no, it's like it's way more deep than that. Okay, return.
Yeah. So then that summer we went out and like we hung out. I was at the time a little caught up in another boy.
It's always another boy.
Yeah. That's all I'll say about that.
You just start crying. Oh, it could have been.
So we hung out, and then I just wasn't interested at the time.
Okay.
And my mom would like hound me. She was like, Sophia, don't you want a nice boy? And I was like, if all that I can say about him is that he's nice, then that's boring. I was mean.
You want the classic movie scene of the
I know,
the bad boy, the guy that drives up in the middle of the night on the motorcycle.
And at the time, like being so young, it was a lot easier for me to know that something wouldn't work out. Like Tim was like 0 flaws, like so nice, family great,
Too safe.
Yeah, and I was like, but that could hurt me eventually.
Sure. Or you're like,
Versus-
do I want this at 14 years old?
Right. Maybe you were thinking that.
Well, because I was like, okay, so I'm done.
Right. And yeah, and it was also, yeah, like I saw something that could last with that. I mean, all that I could like comprehend in my 14-year-old brain.
Yeah.
But then, you know, it was easier for me to know something wouldn't work out at the time. Like any other guy, I knew it wasn't going to last.
Sure. But did that intrigue you to lean more towards Tim, or it steered you away because
steered me away.
You were like, this is too good to be true kind of thing?
Yes, exactly.
Got it. So you were thinking like, if this gets messed up, it's going to be way bigger than this guy that just like kind of sucks.
Yeah, like I know he sucks, so I can like justify it.
Yes.
You know?
But then so then what was you just gave in basically?
Yes and no. So a couple, like probably a year passed. One night on like a Thursday night at 11:30, I texted him and was like, I'm free tomorrow at 7.
The details.
How do you
remember all the details?
I was like, I'm free tomorrow at 7:45 if you want to hang out. Like, what am I we hadn't talked in months. Like this was, I was like, I wasn't trying to be mean.
You really went rogue.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he was
like trying.
Great. He was like, great, I'll pick you up at 7:45.
Is this AM or PM?
PM.
Okay.
You saw Black Panther.
That's a wild test.
I mean, still
6 a.m. Be here.
I said like 24 hours we can hang out, and he was like, sure, be there. Like that was it. He picked me up. We saw
Which
Black
just
Panther.
pissed you off even more. You're like,
Yeah, I
damn
was
it.
like, of course.
Yeah, of course he follows through. Awesome. Of course he wants to see me that bad.
Yeah. I remember texting him and being like, this is chance. Like if he can hang out or not. He did. And then I don't know. Nothing really happened after that for a little while. He asked me to prom my sophomore year, his junior year.
Did you go to the same school?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No. But I had a dance competition, so I couldn't go. So he didn't go. And I was like, gosh, like, you're really gonna...
And were you dating at this time? Or
No.
it was just you would cold call him
yeah.
24 hours to be there or not?
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
And then the next year, one night, because he would pick Grace up from dance on Wednesday nights. And I would walk past his car every Wednesday and just, like, avoid eye contact.
But
and then
purposely, you're just like waiting by the door until he pulls up, then to just walk up. Hey,
I don't know what I was doing. But I remember one night I walked past his car and I walked, because one of our studios used to, like, it was in the same strip mall, but it wasn't attached. So you had to walk outside to go to the other studio.
Okay.
And I was like, I swear he's going to text me tonight. And everybody's like, what are you talking about? Like, he's here every Wednesday. And I was like, no, he's like, I don't know. Like, I just feel like he's going to
look at me
text
today.
me.
I look a little bit more special this Wednesday.
Right. I'm like probably wearing like no pants or something.
Yeah.
Like,
Tonight's the night.
yeah. And he texted me that night.
You're in sync.
Yeah. And we haven't stopped talking since that day.
Do you remember the text?
No.
Like, saw you through the window, looking good still. Town's getting better.
I think it was probably just like hey, how's it going? Maybe more so. I don't know. And then he asked me to, before we were like hanging out and going out, but we weren't dating officially before he asked me to prom. Or then he asked me to prom. We went to prom, and then a couple days later, he asked me to be his girlfriend.
And what age was this?
I was 16.
Okay.
And he was 17.
Did your parents meet young?
No, they met after college.
Got
So
it.
like
So you
20.
didn't have it in your head like, oh, that is something I want to do, of meet someone young and then do
No.
that.
I feel like I've always been like hopeless romantic. Like I always pictured myself like getting married young and having kids young, but for no reason at all. Like,
So you're like, this is for me.
yeah,
That sounds fun.
yeah,
I could see that. I feel like we work with a lot of people from some areas where like that is kind of the goal, or that's almost the
Tradition in a way.
Yeah.
tradition of like the first person you meet.
mm-hmm.
That's what you settle in
Right.
with.
Yeah, and I didn't even. It wasn't even that I was so attached to it being the first person I met, but I also knew that I wasn't gonna date someone unless I saw a future. Like I wasn't just like a date around. Like
What
Tim was my
age-
first boyfriend
Okay.
officially. Like I talked to other people. I went out with other people.
Yeah.
But I wasn't gonna actually like commit to somebody unless I wanted there to be.
You were kind of like that
That's
too,
how
I feel
was,
like.
yeah.
What
It's like, I'm not-
age did you guys do that? Like when did that start clicking?
I don't know. It was just kind of
8.
always. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I was kind of like that, just not aware that I was like that. Because
literally
No, you
not
weren't.
at all. I feel like I just want to be like you guys, so I'm gonna say this.
Courtney, we love you just the way you are.
Yeah.
well, I don't know. Like, okay, so my first
You weren't serious with anybody. Is that what you're saying?
No, the first boyfriend that I think for me it was just like convenience. Like the first person that I was with, I just stayed with for like 4 or 5 years
Right.
because it was just like this is
That's just what you knew.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was like it's easier to just keep doing this than to switch it up.
Yeah.
And then he's only the second person that I've dated.
Yeah.
And it's just like this is just happening now.
This is you're really convenient, Cheney.
I'm super convenient.
He keeps being around.
Yeah.
Now we're
Yeah.
living together. It'd be extra difficult to move out. So it's
Right.
like let's just
keep doing
be together forever now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just settle into the convenience of life.
Right.
No drama.
No drama.
You love boys. The fact
Still?
that you tried to sneak the yeah, I've just always kind of been about that too.
Courtney, when was your first kiss?
I was probably
6.
No, maybe 13, 12 or 13.
You're pushing it.
13.
It's
Maybe.
not like terrible.
It was like 7th or 8th grade. I definitely did not have braces. I
Okay,
clearly
yeah, 'cause God forbid.
I clearly
Yeah.
no, I like clearly
Whoa.
remember
That'd be
like
disgusting.
braces me and below
No.
it was whatever was happening was happening, but then I got my brace. So like I had the body that I had, but the braces face.
Right.
So, like-
we've all had that period of time.
Yeah, I was like 16 from shoulders down, braces. Then I got the braces off,
Game over.
and it all matched. Things were different now.
yeah.
So I clearly remember.
So you went around kissing boys a lot.
I
Yeah.
clearly remember it was after the transition of we're all
Yeah.
we're all
on the
connecting.
same page now.
We're on the
Yeah.
same page. Face to body is connecting.
Right.
So yeah, maybe it was probably 8th grade because I got my braces off between 7th and 8th grade.
Were you in the same school district all growing up?
Yeah, I was. My siblings were not. Because after I was in 8th grade, we moved. And our high school is not in the same district as our elementary and middle schools where I live.
Okay.
Ooh.
So
What was middle school like grades? 6th through 8th?
So it's changed since I've been there, but when I was there, middle school was 5th and 6th, and junior high was 7th and 8th. Two different
Oh.
schools.
Ours was like
Interesting.
that, except for it was what 4th, 5th, and 6th, and then 7th and 8th.
That's what. Oh no! Now they have 4 and 5 is middle school, and 6, 7, 8 is junior high.
And what's weird is
What's the difference between junior high and middle
our
school?
7th and 8th is called middle school.
And
4th, 5th, and 6th was called intermediate school.
that makes more sense to me. Yeah,
'Cause
I don't.
junior high, like
Right. I don't know. I think they just space wise, they just have to split it into two different
Yeah.
schools because it's 2 different elementary schools that go to middle school, and then all those same people go to junior high together. So you're changing schools, but not people.
Yeah, we only had 3 elementary schools.
4.
And
East, West, Harmony, Consolidated.
oh yeah, that one that's way out
Consolidated.
there. That's like, who are those kids?
Those Consolidated kids.
They're
It's
like
a crazy name for a school.
Yeah.
they're like out in the country, like who, you know.
Yeah.
I probably went there.
And then it all went to the intermediate school, and then we all just funneled up together.
Yeah, that's how it was.
But
we just
now I
had
feel
2.
like our high school is getting overflown. But we grew up in like a small. Do you need a singing break?
Do you need a singing break?
She's like, I just really need to right now. I feel like, was your town, like you said, okay, it's like a Hallmark town.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is it a farm town? Is it is that where everyone is, or does everyone just branch off into the other nearest cities?
So my high school, Stevenson High School, is over 5,000
What
kids.
was your mascot?
Patriots, but I don't know what that is.
Okay.
Like a guy, Patriot.
It's just a guy.
You
And
just
then
had to salute every time
the
you walked
Pomps
through the door.
team, they're the Patriots.
Oh,
You know, so
clever.
What were the colors?
green and gold.
Ew.
And those were
Yuck.
also my college colors. Bad.
Where'd you go
No,
to college?
Bourne Park University.
PPU. That's why she always gives out that scholarship when she's there. We never say anything about it. It's just more of an insight.
Oh,
Yeah.
in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
See, putting it all together.
Yeah.
How was that transition from where you lived?
To Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Well, okay. Where I live, there's a lot of town. Like, Long Grove is really small, but it's surrounded by a lot of bigger towns. Like,
Okay.
within a 2-minute, like, Long Grove, I live 3 minutes from the studio, and the studio's in Buffalo Grove.
Buffalo Grove. Where is that? That sounds familiar.
That's where Reverie is.
But did we have are there competitions that happen there in that area? Why do I know that?
Maybe just because.
It wouldn't be from
Reverie.
Reverie though, because I've never been there. Okay, whatever.
But you always probably hear it with Reverie, like where
Why
Reverie
would I
is.
hear their
Who knows?
address?
Their
Who knows?
address.
Who knows? Who knows? Who knows?
So I really it's suburban, like where my house is a lot of land, not really farm. It used to be, but it's all gotten developed. But around it's just super suburban. So, I mean, and then moving to Pittsburgh was an adjustment.
That's
but-
like a city.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I was born in downtown Chicago. Like, I lived downtown Chicago.
For how many years?
Like 2.
Okay.
But we, then moved, further and further from the city. So I
Got
feel
it.
like it wasn't, a huge shock.
Okay. It wasn't like us coming from here.
No.
Okay, yeah,
I
yeah.
wouldn't say. In Pittsburgh, it's a small city. And I kind of was I knew it was a city school,
Yeah.
a city campus. So I wasn't.
And is there something about you're going to school there, so it doesn't feel like you're just off on your own? Like you're a
No,
little bit
it's
confined in
actually-
doing this.
I thought that would be what it feels like, because a normal college town, you're on your campus, but the town, it's around the campus
Yes.
itself, but this campus is around the city. So you
Got it.
are completely, you're in a dorm, but you're left to your own devices. I've had to walk and get groceries, except there's no grocery store by my school, so I had to Uber to the grocery store or take the bus. That was hard because it was COVID.
Yeah.
So, but buses, no one wanted to get on a bus, so we'd Uber and Uber back with 18 bags of groceries. And
Did you know that you wanted to move back here?
yeah,
Well, not here, but you were there's no way I'm going to live away.
no, all of my family lives within, and this some are here, Janesville or Racine.
Literally here.
Or Northwest Indiana or suburbs of Chicago. So everyone is within an hour or so.
And Tim had the same kind of idea, like we're just
Yeah, he definitely wanted to come back here too.
And where did he go
High school?
after high school? Like, did he stay in that area?
No, he went to school in Indiana.
Okay. Okay. But he graduated earlier, right? Because
He actually graduated. He's a year ahead of me, but he did a 5-year program because he went for architecture. So to get licensed, they either have to get a professional degree, which is 5 years, or do 4 years plus 2 for their master's. So he did the 5-year program. So he graduated same time as me.
Got it.
It's complicated.
Got it. Because there was a time, is he still doing that, where he's trained into the city?
Mm-hmm.
He's still doing that?
He commutes in every day, yeah. He's like full-time. He's got a big boy job now.
Could you imagine that?
No.
Taking, like, even thinking of Alex living in New York, I
Yeah,
can't wrap my head around that.
Like, his job he really likes, and the commute he doesn't hate, but neither of us want to live in the city.
Yeah.
How long of a train ride is it?
He takes the express train in, so it's only like 40 minutes.
That's not terrible then. Because we
No.
talked about that too. Like a little bit of a commute is kind of nice because you can just chill for a second
And
get
he
your
works
shit
on the
together.
train, so he
Oh.
gets overtime most days
Well, that's smart.
by working on the train.
That's nice.
Yeah, because his company.
And you didn't want to be with this guy.
Well, I didn't know
He's
he was
got
going
it
to be
all-
an architect.
He's got it all figured out.
He was just the brother sitting in the car on
Yeah.
Wednesday nights. It's really developed into something pretty good.
Pretty good.
Sounds like he was good then.
He
Oh,
was,
yeah, true.
he was good then.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
You know, we're like, yeah, he was pretty much perfect. And we're like, do you settle for that? Is that
Yeah.
something you're ready for?
Oh, is that really what you want? Perfect.
Perfect?
What
Right from
clique
the
were you
jump?
in high school? Like who were you?
Like, not one. I had like individual friends, but I never, like, I couldn't really stand the idea of like friend groups because I would like 2 people I liked, but the other 4 I didn't, and I didn't want to have to hang out with them.
Sure.
Like, I just wasn't, I couldn't like be around people who just drained me.
Yeah.
And so I like kept a good like handful of friends. And I mean, like, I'd go to parties and stuff and see everybody, or like dances or football games. But I just, in terms of like who I was close with, it was a couple people here and there.
Were you closer with dance friends or school friends?
Dance friends.
Yeah. That's
I
how it
just
was too.
danced
That's probably
so
the
much.
dance thing then. That's how you were too.
Yeah.
Well, it's like you're
You don't
around
have
them more than
time.
you're at school.
And I didn't even like, if I had a weekend to hang out with my friends from school, that was few and far between.
Yeah.
I was dancing like,
And that was draining to me.
oh, absolutely. Yeah. I was dancing 30 hours a week. Like, I wasn't,
I'm not doing sleepovers.
no.
No, thank you.
No. Yeah.
Where they're like, let's pull an all-nighter. I'm like, I haven't slept in 5 weeks. No, thank you.
I have ballet at 9 a.m.
Yeah. No, thanks. No, thanks.
Yeah. Even like from, like,
A
I would
roll
never
dip?
stay over.
Oh, yeah. So this is the Sophia from the riveting day in the life.
Wait, I started making TikToks.
Oh no.
Insert here.
I like have been keeping it, like, I haven't talked about it. I just like secretly make them. And all the kids at the studio are like, you're on my For You page, you're on my For You page. I'm like, oh. And they're like, are you going to get a creator fund? I'm like, I don't even know what that is. I didn't even have TikTok until like this year. I like deleted it for Lent like 4 years ago and haven't gotten it back.
Until you're like, but
And
now
I
I'm
don't
gonna-
watch them. I only make people watch me.
I'm the creator. Yeah.
I mean, that's probably the healthiest balance.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go and watch your guys. I just want you to consume more of me. I need to be spread out on more platforms.
Yeah. And then
Instagram was not
my
enough.
dad yesterday was like, I've been seeing your videos. And I was like, really? My TikToks? And he was like, yes, is that what they're called? And I was like, yep.
Your
And he was like,
videos.
he was like, you should get some, like, I can like help you get like a setup for that. Like, do you need a tripod? Do you need a microphone? And I was like, maybe.
Maybe.
That's so cute. I love when parents are supportive of
My dreams.
silly shit. It's like, that's not a real thing. That's not a regular thing. Like, my dad, he was like, well, if you want to do this for the podcast, or we should have, have the windows closed because it'll be better for sound. And he's like, maybe the carpet will be better compared to your apartment for the sound. Like, he dives deep. And it's just like, this is just a silly little thing for people to listen to us talk.
Right.
Yep.
Because we think that's something people should hear.
Every time I'm in the car, I'm like, I should have a podcast.
Just with your own thoughts. You're like, not even with somebody else. People just need to hear more of me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, start with TikTok and then venture out into a YouTube channel.
Right.
So what?
What are these videos?
What are these videos?
A day in the life.
So you're doing like little
Yes.
vlogs. I love
After
that.
I did it,
You're like, I'm so good at
there's
this.
a butterfly. Sorry.
See, little puppy.
Yeah. Well, once I got, like, I was living back home and I was experiencing my days, I was like, one, this is abnormal. Like, what I do. And two, it feels pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I'm going to share.
I was not surprised. I knew you would take it and run with it, but how good and natural and like you're a good rambler.
Oh, yeah.
So like I wish I could have made it longer, but I'm like, I can't. It ended up being a 10-minute day in the life video, and I cut so
That's
much
what I
out.
do when I'll make a video, like a Trader Joe's haul, and it's 32 minutes. I cut out literally everything I say because I like think as I'm talking about it, I'm like, this is good context, and I'm watching it and I'm like, no one cares.
Your video of going at groceries is longer than you just going to get groceries.
Yes.
Be like, I'm
like,
gonna really
no one
dive
cares
deep in all
what day
this.
of the week I'm having this and why and the way I'm going to heat it up. Like,
But maybe they do.
maybe they do.
Yeah,
Like
maybe they
your
do.
whole, just the bathroom scene of you getting ready.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is like, I don't want to cut any of this out, but I don't know how to. It's gonna be a 30-minute little clip, and this just has to go on Instagram, so it just cannot be.
Right.
But I was like, all of this is gold. The video of you and Kira, I watch it twice a week. Still
In the bed.
You're laughing. I can't. I'm so happy that you're doing
Just leave it 30 minutes. People
Yeah.
will watch it.
Exclusive bathroom scene.
that. Well, I think that's where YouTube is better because then you can post longer things.
Yeah.
But we were just talking about that last night. Like I was watching Emma Chamberlain. I'm like, this is stupid. Like she is just
Right.
cooking, and I
But those are you
love
just like
it.
put it on it like every morning
I love it.
because like with my ADHD I need like something playing in the background.
Yeah.
I don't even know these people that I watch. But I just like I'm like, oh, that looks cool. And I stick it on in the background.
Yep.
So that I can
Live my life.
yeah.
You film your life just watching someone else.
Yes.
But it's like she's not doing anything.
No, you're gonna
No.
wake up and put your own videos on soon.
Maybe. You're like, that's pretty good.
You're like, wow, I have good points.
But I think it's interesting if you're a good random talker. Like you're a good random talker. Like you can just fill space. Like you're in the hotel room by yourself before Kira gets in there, and you're just going. You're talking like we were talking about
This
doing
is why
this.
she needs to do the transitions.
Yes.
My segues.
Your
The segues. Like it's just you're good at just saying things that are funny that absolutely mean nothing, have nothing to do with anything, but you can just describe what's happening in a very funny way. That's why those day in the lives or the vlogs do really well. Some people are not good at it, but it's like you're not doing anything.
No.
But why can I not? I love it. I love it so much, and it's so lame, but
People are curious about people.
Well, and it's like relatable
Yeah.
too. Like it's digestible because it's just someone's
breezy.
life. It's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
like here's how you tie this kind of knot and swing from a tree.
well, maybe that could be a
Maybe I'll do
tutorial.
that next.
New video
The how-to
idea.
videos.
Stay tuned.
Well, even that too. It's like you said, the relatable part. Like, what's relatable if it's somebody that's, I don't know. Even the Emma Chamberlain thing, like going to the Met Gala and doing all the crazy
Super
stuff. Like,
relatable. Just
Right.
another Tuesday night.
But there's something to that though, where then it's like, oh, that's I want to aspire to have that kind of
Yeah.
life. Or you see
Yeah.
like her house, and it's like, oh, well, that's aesthetically pleasing because it's big and it's beautiful and it's cool, and you live in cool places, and she's going on vacations. That it's like
millions of dollars.
yeah. So
Right.
you're like,
It's awesome.
that should be relatable to me.
Yeah.
Like I need to level up to
Yeah.
that.
Mm-hmm.
And by me watching these videos of her,
Right, and then
cooking.
that's why I post my 3-minute TikTok because
Right.
I'm like, one day I'm gonna have $1 million from this video right here.
Never know.
She didn't know.
No, I mean, well, that's what we were talking with my dad last night. Like, she started when she was like 15, 16.
Yeah.
The videos were not good, but she just kept
It was literally
doing
like
it.
videos of her dropping out of high school. Like,
Oh, yeah. Yep. And just like singing in the car and going to get coffee every day and just random. Like, they were not good in the beginning,
no.
but
that's why people like her so much now, because she started off like anyone else.
Yeah.
Of course, now that's not really the case, but
yeah, you can see the transition of, oh, I could do that because she started that way.
yeah.
So
You're the next.
cut to
Looks
5
like
years
it.
from now. You could be your multi-million-dollar house still making day in the life TikToks.
Day in my life on the lake in Minocqua in my mansion.
That would be... I'd be so happy for you with all of
Every
your
video is
kids.
just you on the lake.
And then when you
I
have
have my own lake.
all of your kids, then you transition into a parenting TikTok.
That's okay. That's actually, this like all does tie back to like a real thing. So Tim, I was like, let's
We're
make this
not just
about
mega
me.
life.
But Tim he eventually wants to start a business where he wants to design cabins eventually. Right now he's doing
Ooh.
commercial architecture, but he wants to eventually do residential. So that's part of why we want to live up north, because he wants to open a firm up there,
cool.
design cabins. But he was like just talking about ways to kind of gain publicity before making a move like that. And so he was like, it would be great if like somehow social media, I could create, even just like post designs. He's done a bunch of like freelance projects already, and like keep that, and then post about like what, you know, the process of X, Y, and Z, things like that. And so I was like, yeah, like short form content is great for that. And I like the interior design side of it too a lot. And so we want to like have
tag.
Yeah, so that's like what we'd like to do eventually. But I was like, no, that would be great, because like that you can capture your like how we are creating a business together. Like that's content. I feel like that's
Oh yes, 100%.
and that even can go into a podcast or
Yep.
And then I was like, and then we bring kids into it, and then it's our family designing our family cabin and our family's life, and then it's a lifestyle and a career based and all of, and so that's like originally what we were talking about. And then he wants to kind of start figuring that out. So then I was like, well, I'll just begin with
I'll start with this.
yeah. I was like, thank you, and here's my day.
You're
But,
just
like,
like
it did
waiting
start-
for him to have like a glimmer of interest. You're like, oh well, great. I already have
Yeah,
5
I'm-
videos in the draft ready
Yeah.
to publish.
So I already have my lifestyle account. So, but yeah, that's where the conversation stemmed from.
You just like put up the camera in the corner, like,
Yeah.
well, we could get this too. Like this
Right.
conversation should be on
Right.
video.
Yeah. But
I
like
mean, yeah.
That's fun.
him and I all have watched like random people who were like, they had a following for something else and then like decided to design their own home. And we didn't watch them before, but like every week him and I watch these people design, because that's like what we're interested in.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to think how many people are also interested in that.
Oh, 100%. I mean, the videos that we tend to get the most traction on are like any of the fitness kind of,
Yeah.
you know, genre. There's a lot of
'Cause
different
it has,
like
a
loopholes to
niche
go.
it.
But it's like, well, that's what we like talking about, and that's now like what we're teaching more about. But then you
Yeah.
also have your side of it, where I don't want to say like social media is kind of a way that, I guess for us with dance, where that really is stemming from, or like we know how to do that, we know the benefit of that, we know that that has boosted our jobs or is a major part of our jobs, that then you can take his regular person job
Yeah.
and then work it together. I mean, that's how
Like
kind of
those
how it's been working with
ballerina
him.
farm. I know there's controversy, but have you seen that?
No,
It's a ballerina. She like went to Juilliard, but then I guess like dropped out of Juilliard to go live on a farm with her boyfriend. But they have a business now called Ballerina Farm, because she's a ballerina and he has like this farm and they have a homestead and all this.
yes.
Yeah.
You're like,
I am ballerina farm.
Like, I'm ballerina farm.
Yeah. But yeah, when you are like intertwining
Yep.
these different.
Yep. That's why I think like what we're doing right now is working.
That's why I hate you.
Just zoom in on whatever.
There's nothing happening and you can make it funny. It honestly pisses me off. I have to wait for something to happen.
I remember we were at something like something was happening and you were complaining about like there was something that was actually wrong and we were talking about it. And then when the conversation was kind of over, you just started moonwalking backwards doing this with your arm. No. You did this. You did like music theater pushes. You're like, okay, bye. And that's Sophia.
Was it when I was like severely ill or something?
I don't even know. I don't know what the problem was. I don't know where we were. I just remember you in a full, like one of those, the leather outfit, the leather pants with a white shirt, and you just shuffling back. You're like, okay, gotta go. Like, okay.
Got a job to do.
Hopefully you figure out whatever problem that was while you shuffle away. But I think that's why what we're doing is working a quicker than some other things that we're doing, because it's that like power team dynamic and you get both sides of the spectrum. Like you're not going to know any of the architect stuff.
No.
But he's able to bring that, and then you can bring something different to the table that now you're just exactly you bring the razzle dazzle. That now you're just now you're just like adding more things to the puzzle that one person wouldn't be able to do and handle. Like we just did all the classes this last week. It's like I can't teach that many classes on my own, or the information that he knows, I don't have the depth of knowledge that he does, and then like the amount of time that it would take me to really learn and evolve my own teaching to have that. Now I'm taking away from what I'm doing and good at. That's like, okay, if we can just combine this, it's like lightning in a bottle.
Well, it's fun for us too. I mean, like we're huge proponents of the like, work with your other person. Yeah. It's like it's fun. You get to go places together, do stuff together, as long as you enjoy being around each other that much, I guess. But
that's the hope, I think. Simply coworkers over here, colleagues per se.
Keep in contact.
Get your number. Keep in contact.
What stresses you out? I feel like nothing stresses you out.
No. Okay, so this is where I feel like I put on a really good front.
Okay.
And like you know me very well, but we get like small doses of each other.
Yes. Small doses in very intense environments that you almost have to be.
And I like prepare for it. And I don't like during those weekends I don't have the option to,
they're a little bit of escapes too.
Oh yeah, like, and it's like it's fun. I love it. I'm around people that I love, so it's. But I am the most high-wound, anxious person. Not the most. I don't want to be dramatic, but like
really,
yes.
Discuss.
I honestly, like in the past couple of years, it's gotten so much better. I'm like the best I've been in a long time, but from even when I was like, it started when I was really, really young. I was so. It like manifested in different ways because I didn't know how to like digest it, but it with my fear of throwing up is all a control issue.
Okay, you know this about it, right?
Yes.
I won't dive deep into it because
let's
not think about it more.
Yeah, but so that started when I was in like kindergarten, first grade, and I was terrified to go to school. I had to like the school psychologist had to eat with me every day.
Because you were worried that you would throw up,
or that somebody else would, me or somebody else. So that, but that it like started, and now we know that was childhood anxiety.
Okay.
But at the time, my mom was just like, I was afraid, but
right. We just thought like, she's funky about this thing.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, I was always just. I didn't know it, but I was very anxious. I just overthought everything. I was a perfectionist, which I mean is common in our field.
Sure.
But I definitely like went a lot deeper with me. And so then when I was, I think 14, I started every day I would have like 3 panic attacks.
Really?
And I couldn't, it wasn't, like I wasn't depressed, but it was just so hard. Like I was just upset all the time. Yeah, because I was constantly in fight or flight.
How did that affect you physically? Like, did it wear, like I always talk about like I have gray hair, like a lot of it. And I'm 26 years old. That I think it's just like childhood stress that is now making my hair fall out and turn gray. Mm-hmm. Like, did it manifest anything physically? Like, could you feel the fight or flight?
Oh, yeah, all the time. I mean, I just like, I would wake up in the morning with a pit in my stomach.
Okay.
And it would just, every day. And it was mostly at like with dance or at dance or about dance. Just because that's, I don't know, I feel like I couldn't just like skate through. Like with school, I can kind of just like,
sure,
you know, but at dance I couldn't because we're held to a very high
specific standard.
Yeah. And so I started going to therapy, and I was going 3 times a week because I was off my rocker, and I was young too. Like I had to like learn how to process these things. It wasn't like I was older. And one day I did something well, like was coping well or something. And so I went in and I was like, yeah, so I felt like this and I did this. And my therapist was like, that is great. Like, this is good. This is good progress. I was like, okay, well, that validation feels good. So I started going in and absolutely lying to this woman. Like I'm not even a good liar. Like I'm a terrible liar. And she should have seen, like she's a therapist. She should have seen right through this. But I was people pleasing her the way I did with everybody. Literally the like reason I was in therapy. So then she graduates me from 3 days a week to 2 days a week, 2 days a week to 1 day a week. And then I come home one day and I'm like, Mom, like she said, I don't have to come anymore. And my mom was like, you had 4 panic attacks yesterday. What are you talking about? I'm like, no, she said I'm doing well. My mom's like, did she? I bamboozled her. And I never went to her again because
you can't get advice or help from somebody you bamboozled.
Right, because you're like, you didn't see through it.
Right.
Like I straight up lied to your face and you didn't clock it.
Right.
How are you supposed to help me?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom was like, okay. So
they need to make a show about you. Just you.
Hilarious.
I mean, just your...
For you to be like, okay, I know we need to fix something here, but
this feels good.
I really like what she said. Good job.
No one else is.
Which is even more wild that even you lying, you were still coming up with the coping mechanisms that you were probably supposed to do.
Part of it,
and you didn't do it, but you're like, but I know what they are enough
and
to give a story about it.
Part of my mom was like, honestly, because I'm very like, I don't know what it is, but I can like see someone's behavior and my own behavior. I know exactly why it's happening, and I know
you can figure out the mirror.
I'm not like a psycho, like it's not that, but I'm very in tune with how I'm feeling. It's just sometimes I like need to feel it.
Sure.
And so my mom partially was like, you already know what you need to do. So like, why are we even like taking you here 3 times a week for her to tell you what you already know? And I also like that she would be like, oh, well, when you're feeling this way, like at dance, like if you're feeling that way or you're feeling upset, like talk to your like tell your teacher this, this, and this. And like, I absolutely wasn't going to do that.
No.
You think, oh my God.
No.
Right.
Have you met dance instructors?
Yeah, and I also just am not the person to, like, that's why I would, like, I'll sit there and have a panic attack before
because you're working yourself up to, like, now I got to tell that person about it and talk to them about it.
Yeah, so it kind of just eventually, like, I was on medication for a little while. I hated it because I need to feel, like, if I'm feeling anxious or overwhelmed, I need to feel that. Like, I need to sit and, like, stop for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's healthy, but that feels better to me than like being numb. And like knowing I feel it, but like I can't express it.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
So that like didn't last very long. And my mom too was like, this like it just didn't feel right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I don't know. I kind of just went through high school. By senior year, I got a lot better. Honestly, like when I started dating Tim, he was just very good, like the same way my mom was, at just like I don't know, evening me out a little bit.
Easing
Like
it.
I wasn't as rational or irrational. I
But
was
he's
more
safe
rational.
and boring and
Right. And he like, but he's also very like, it was hard too because I feel like they like sugarcoat things in therapy a lot, or at least maybe just because I was younger and so I was going to like a in line to her. But like he was very like blunt almost about it. But that's what I need. Like I'm a realistic person.
Yeah.
Like I need somebody to tell me when I'm like being a little.
Well, it's almost like you were feeling it real. Like
Yeah.
you're like, I don't want to hide this or push it away. I
Yeah.
want to feel it and feel the extreme aspect of it.
Yeah, and
so like,
he-
I also need the solution to be
Right. Well,
cutthroat.
and he too, he's like, do you want a solution or do you just want to talk about it?
Yeah.
And so then like most of the time, like we just talk about it. And then I at least know like there's somebody who like
Yes.
is understanding.
Yes.
Yeah. And then going to college, it was good to like be away. And with the dance program at school, I was a lot like I could keep as quiet as I wanted to, and like I didn't have to stick out, where there was just a lot of pressure with the size and everything of, you know, like you're on a competition team with 7 other girls,
Yeah.
and like depending on the skill level and whatnot, like you're kind of like everybody's
Fighting for the spot.
right. And I don't know, in college you can kind of choose if that's what you wanted to do or not, and I realized I didn't like to do that. And then I was like, maybe that means I don't want to dance professionally because that's what you have to do. And I don't like it.
Sure. I know. I think that's something that, well, were you going to say something before
I don't remember. I just it's so funny to me how I feel like I'm Tim. And it's like, would you ladies fucking figure it out?
What, that the nice guys are good?
Yeah.
Sorry, Janie.
Everything you want is right in front of you.
That's so true.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. I think we agree. I think we agree. But maybe
Dropping straight facts, Janie.
maybe to the other people listening, that is a good advice. 'Cause I feel like we're
Go
like,
with your
no.
gut.
Yep.
The nice guy will always win.
Is that the only time you use your direct camera? I feel like that's, I don't know. I don't know if that has to be a part of our industry, but that's something we've been talking about a lot with our classes. Like, we only know one way to be,
Yeah.
I think, when it comes to dance, where it's like, stick out by any means necessary. And like, you have to be the one that's like razzle dazzling everybody.
Yeah.
But it's like, if that's not your personality, what's the problem with
Right.
being a role player?
Yeah, and like it is my personality,
Sure.
but not in the it's not in a competitive sense at all. And that's what I struggled with a lot. Is
Right.
people were competing with me and I was not competing with them. I hate like
Yeah.
I even in, like competing. I don't know why I was a competition dancer.
I
I
know.
hated it. I loved getting to like dance with my team all
Yes.
the time, but like I didn't want to get up there by myself and like even in the studio. That's what like I loved being in the studio and like getting better and like getting corrections but then you're getting compared to everybody all the time, and I was like that drove me insane.
Because like, why can't we just all do our thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
You
then like
said the exact same thing.
Yep.
Like everything you just said. I've
Yeah.
heard you say so many
Yeah.
times.
I always thought,
I can't be in an industry like that.
yeah. I don't like that fight with the other people for it. I think it's silly. And of course, like, we work for a company that is literally against competition. But like, when I was growing up,
But
I just
that's
thought
a
it
good
was
thing, because then
can
we can
change the
bring
narrative.
yeah, we can bring a different type of energy and vibe to it and have it be more fun and inclusive.
Yeah, and I
all
do
those
feel like
cool
Dupre
words.
compared to and
oh
like
yes,
of course there's the competition aspect, but it's a whole lot more about growth than it is about.
Yes.
So
yes, and
Which
that's
is
what I
probably
think is
why you guys like working there too.
right.
oh yeah.
It's not the intense, like, whoever takes first place is the superstar of the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I don't know if that was just not promoted as much, or if there was like a transition over the years where competition got bigger. But like, even taking class, like, it just should be about learning.
Yeah.
And like getting better and doing that. I think even now, like kids that are in that, they're like, no, it's just to get noticed so that I can get a solo, or it's just so that when I go to rehearsal, they put me in the front, or it's like, it is more fun to just like go and get really, really good at something.
But also, like, if you're the only one with that mentality, then
it's weird.
You don't, it's weird. And you also then, like, I don't know, like, I felt pressure.
How do you make moves to do that?
Yeah, I felt like a pressure to act, and that's also how you fit in, and that's how you get what everybody else has. And yeah, it's not for me.
No.
I like the dance education field I love, but even when I'm not dancing, like when I do it again, I love it, but I don't miss it because it's high stress all the time. Even in class, it's high stress all the time. And there's a healthy level of stress, but I don't know. There's a point where I'm like, are we learning anymore?
Right. Well, that's where like I stopped just liking it altogether. And I didn't like, I've been doing class every once in a while on the weekends because like Alex and Lauren are pushing me into doing it.
Yeah.
But I like almost can't clock into this is fun. It's like this needs to have an outcome.
Right.
Yep.
Or I think it's fun because of like one time my mom was like, you would probably even have fun in the military. Like that's the way you act about this.
Sure.
Because it's like the rigor of it.
Yes.
And I do like that aspect, but then there's a point where it's like, am I doing that for me or am I doing it for the people around me?
Well, and I think
Interesting.
what you've brought up before too is like, I will create the stress
intensity.
and the intensity. I don't need somebody else to get on my ass all the time.
Right. So that
like,
was growing up was really hard for me too, because I held myself to like a crazy standard and pushed myself crazy hard. And then
you're like,
when you're
I need it
putting,
from you too.
When you're putting tough love, which sometimes didn't come from a place of love.
It just felt tough.
It was just tough, and it was just people taking out what they experienced growing up onto their students. I would break, except I didn't shut down when that, like most people shut down. I like wound up, and then I was like
fight or flight all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
Yep. Because it is hours of your life too. That's like you're coming from school where like you're just sitting down, your brain is having to do all of the social situations being at school and around a bunch of kids. And then you go into that environment where the standards are different. It's not like I don't want to say like it's not a traditional activity, but like, because I always compare you with football. You were like, that to me would be more stressful because like you're getting yelled at and people are like really on you. I don't think I ever got yelled at, but it's that like sneaky behind the scenes, like I'm gonna say it to you like this.
Yeah, it's like a little bit of mental manipulation, a little bit.
And it's like, and I'm already doing that to myself.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You guys had so much. It's drama industry.
Yes.
It is.
Like football is no drama.
Yeah, and I don't feel like I grew up with a ton of drama, which is rare. Like our studio didn't really have drama. There was, of course, like, you know, kids here and there, parents here and there, but
sure,
really, compared to what I've heard, next to nothing at all.
Cool.
But I feel like, I don't know. Like I think a good amount of stress is good, a healthy level of pressure, but it just the line is very thin.
Well, and that's hard if you're someone that's gonna do that for yourself anyways. Which is that
Everybody
developed? Is that something that like we were taught to do? Like we're seeing you guys do that, so then it's like, well, now we should just start talking to ourselves like that and checking in and making sure that we're like being the perfect thing. Does the perfection thing, did that transfer out of dance?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought like if I did anything, it had to be top notch.
Yeah.
Are you still like that?
Yeah.
Okay. I've lessened that.
I got an A- in one class in college, brought my GPA down to 3.99, and I had
a spiral
about it. Yes.
Are you book smart?
feel like I am. Like, compared to my siblings, I had to work harder in school for sure. They're all three, like, little geniuses, but they don't always apply themselves. And I was, like, the opposite. I would always apply myself, but it was hard for me.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm not, like,
Would you, like,
book stupid.
would you take notes?
Yes. I would take notes. I'd get home. I'd rewrite my notes. Yeah,
that's you.
Yeah. And I always say, like, no, I'm stupid. Like, I am dumb, which I don't think that necessarily anymore as much. It would just be, I had to outwork what my intelligence was not bringing to the table.
I laugh, but you
You know what I'm saying? Like,
just the way you say it is funny, but
I was like, it's not gonna, I can't just sit in the class and
yeah,
it's gonna pop in there and
yeah,
you know, absorb.
But yeah, I don't know. I think it's also hard where I come from, like, that high school is crazy academic pressure.
Really?
Oh, that's funny. We didn't deal with that at all.
So much. Like, it was insane. Like, just living where we do, the schools that people go to, what they try and get into, the amount of AP classes people take.
Got it.
Yeah.
And so,
got it.
Like, everyone is stupid there. No, even
Sure.
though you're probably far, like, even when I know like, Tim lived a town over from me, like the next high school over, and even the classes that he took in high school compared to what we had to take in high school, and so it's, I mean,
so they'll
ours
stress.
is more sport pressure, I feel like.
oh, there's that too.
Yeah. Did you
that's
guys just
rough.
have a lot of, like, high achieving parents?
Yes, it's the parents.
Got it.
It's the North Shore, Chicago suburbs parents. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like where we grew up, it was like, if you,
We grew up in a farm town, so it's like,
Yeah.
it's pretty easy breezy. It's like, honestly, the
How
sport
much
pressure
water
wasn't
you
that
gotta
crazy
give your
either.
crops.
yeah, it was like,
Yeah.
if you can make a general living for yourself, but not be, like, in a good situation, like, if you are just scathing by, that's all that we expect from you.
Yeah, that's not how it is. Where I'm from. And that's part of why
That's
Tim
just
and
more
I-
pressure.
it's so much pressure. And that's why Tim and I very much want to raise our kids somewhere where life is slower, quieter, where they are learning from their environment more than just by sitting in a classroom.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, I just think there's so much more value in that than pressure from sports or academics or.
Do you guys talk
Yeah.
about that a lot? Like, how you guys want to parent?
Yeah.
Yeah. We do a lot.
I wonder if that's our generation thing.
Talking.
Just like
about,
really
like, prepping
planning
for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Terrell will say to me sometimes. He's like, I love that you guys talk about this stuff. And I'm like, I don't feel like.
Why would you not?
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why there's, like, you wouldn't want to.
Why keep it a secret?
Yeah.
What else? At some point, you're going to run out of things to talk about, so.
Well, and maybe that's, like, something with being with someone for so long. You're like, well, it's not going to be just like, what did you do today?
Right.
It's like, and I think you also have to be, like, a deep thinker.
Yeah.
And, like,
Yeah.
care about things and be able to sit in those conversations and sit in, like, how you guys have when you're maybe spiraling and he can hold ground. It's like that same dynamic, I think, works when you're talking about building something for the future and growing ideas together and then putting plans in play. Like, even what you guys want to do with your business, that's not something that surface level ideas and
Right. And this, like, it
conversations
all,
come
like,
from.
something will experience something and it'll add to the conversation or change the conversation or whatnot.
And I don't think a lot of people even have those conversations or have those thoughts to then spark in the conversation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wonder how much of it is just embarrassed to share it. Because, like, you're having a million thoughts a day, too, and it's like, am I really going to
I mean, it's
talk
also,
about-
I feel like just, like, I don't feel this way, but for some people, it probably puts pressure on the future, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I see it as more like excitement
I do, too.
Yeah.
of like, ooh,
But if
this
someone's
week
like,
we
I
have
don't
this.
really actually know if I'm going to have kids with this person, like, should I even bring it up? Because,
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, maybe depending on the age and your length of relationship, but I think at some point you almost should have those conversations, because how do you know if you're going to be compatible with
Right.
parenting?
That's how I feel. That's like, even Tim and I were young when we started dating, but even within, I feel like, the first 6 months, we were having just because, like, we're curious about the way each of us are raised and how we want to bring that into our lives and the things we don't want to do.
Yep.
But then, like, my cousin, he's 4 years older than me, and him and his girlfriend have probably been dating for like 6 years. And like last year at one point, my dad was like, so, like, are you going to ask Marissa to marry you ever? And he was like, I haven't really thought about it. And I was like,
6 years. Yeah. You're like, I'd have been out in one if I didn't see a future.
My dad was like, are you going to start thinking about it? He was like, I think I'm going to wait on that. My dad was like, you're just going to push off the thought for a bit? Like, that
and
must be nice.
4 years older than you?
Mm-hmm. He's a funny guy.
That's what I can't even.
Or he's just saying that because he didn't want to talk, like, that's pressure to
it.
talk
Yeah.
about it with other people.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, because then there's that, like, I'm putting it out there, so if it doesn't happen,
Someone's going to be disappointed.
is that, like, is it embarrassing? Is
Right.
it like I'm putting my dreams out there to everybody?
It's vulnerable.
So then if I don't, I fail.
Yeah.
And then going to the perfectionist thing, it's like, now I'm telling you where I want to be perfect
Yeah.
or try, and now I didn't do it. But I don't know. To me, there's like a point of you gain trust in yourself if you know, like, I follow through on things. If I want something,
Yeah.
I will do it. And if it doesn't happen, it's probably because I didn't end up wanting to do it.
Yeah. There's
So
a reason. Right.
I feel fine with that. What do you guys talk about with, especially because you're in that field, with education with kids? Like, how do you want that to look?
I mean, it's hard because like the school systems where we live are very good. Like, there's demographically, it's good. The school, like, the taxes are so expensive, so the schools get a lot of money. They have a lot of resources.
Got it.
So we've even said, like, if we have a kid that needs extra interventions, we might need to be in a school district like that.
Sure.
Like, that's versus
Yep.
if we live in northern Wisconsin, they don't have those resources.
Right.
And to that point, like, if that's the case, we, like, I don't know. We don't know exactly the school systems up there. And both of us are like, we don't really care as long as they're getting educated and they have good friends and we are exposing them to good things. Like, that's all we can do. I don't think it's necessary to be in the highest achieving school system. But if they
Need it, they need it.
Yeah, if they need it, then
Yeah.
that's tough. Because areas like that don't have.
No. I mean, I have a cousin that definitely could have used way more guidance as a kid.
Yeah.
And same thing, like, living in a very small town that they don't have teachers that work, like, they're just
Right.
shoving him in a regular classroom.
Yeah.
And they're going, like, figure it
But
out.
then on the flip side of it, some of my siblings have had a lot of trouble in these schools. They're very smart, but it's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of, the kids can be mean because there's just a lot of wealth too. So no one has an idea of what's realistic, what's not. And so, like, my brother and my sister have had a lot of trouble. And despite the
Despite the resources.
IEPs and 504s, but despite those resources, they've had a lot of trouble in school. Just
what
by
were
the
what did you just say?
IEP,
what?
individualized education program. Like,
Oh, okay.
yeah. And then a 504 is just like a step down. Like,
Okay.
they're basically just accommodations and interventions, but you sit down and, like, discuss them with
Okay.
the teachers and the special
So it
ed
is a
and
more,
whatnot.
like, personalized education
Yeah,
like, where
so
they're
if,
getting the help they
kids
need, basically.
Yeah, if they need pull-out time, if they need extra time on their tests, whatever
Got
it
it.
may be, to sit at
I
the
would've-
front of the class or back of the class.
Yeah.
Based on whatever diagnosis or not, or if it's behavioral or educational, they have all those accommodations.
Okay. Dang. Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was not
Oh,
up
we
here.
did not have that.
Right. It's even, yeah. So,
Well, so like you said, that's a resource that
Yeah.
is paid
Yep.
for, and
yeah, and also all the, like, the parents are all educated in that, and they know that that is an option. But but the pressure still is, like, to what extent is that worth it?
sure.
Because they've used all those resources and still struggled a lot to get through school and to go to
Yeah.
school. It wasn't the material itself; it was
The
everything
surroundings.
in between.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it is. Because it's like, okay, so you have the resources, but is that even making it better?
right.
Is it just
And
they
it's
needed
so
more
different
chill?
for every kid. Like,
Yeah.
my Lucia thrives in that environment because she's social. She she does well under pressure, but like it doesn't put pressure on her.
Yeah.
Like
She seems more casual.
Yeah, she's very casual. She can have a lot of friends, and she wants to go to a good school, so like automatically she's in these high classes that'll get her there. So it works for her. But
yeah. We want to homeschool.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
But same thing, like living and educating off of their environment. And that's why we want to have the land and farm and like be able to have them like immerse themselves in their education versus the traditional route. But I don't know. Maybe that's just because we just had a very specific. I liked the schools that we went to. I liked the community that we had. I liked the small town aspect of everything. Ours was not high pressure at all. It was like if you did anything above normal, you're crushing it.
Yeah.
So,
But then that's looked down upon.
but then that's looked down upon if you go and do something crazy or abnormal. It's like, who do you think you are?
Yeah. You're leaving your roots.
Right. It's like you shouldn't try to excel
Yeah.
because then you're trying to show everybody else that you are better.
Yeah.
Well, we both kind of came to the same point in school too, where we both wanted to be homeschooled.
Yeah. Mine, I think, was just irrational. Like, my reasoning for wanting to homeschool was because I thought I could dance more throughout the day.
That's what I did in high school.
You did?
Online. Yeah, I did online school. So it wasn't my mom teaching me. I had like a school I did it through. So I could dance more.
When did you do that? When did you start that?
Freshman year of high school. I did it all 4 years.
What?
I knew that.
Okay. Okay, secret friendship that I don't have.
But it was most of that, I mean, it was for dance, but the pressure of school.
Got you.
My mom and I agreed. I could not take it. I didn't need it either. I put plenty of pressure on myself. I would.
You were going to excel without it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, I mean, that was mostly it. Then I only had to do school for like 4 or 5 hours a day because the amount of filler time in a school day is obviously it's social and it's this and that. But when I had other goals, and I had my same friends from middle school. I went to dances. I went to football games. I would even I'd go to the school to take my tests because they had to be prof. So I still had socialization, and then obviously saw my dance friends every day.
Right. I feel like that's what helps when you're in activities like that.
Right.
Where it's like, for me, I mostly just hung out with dance friends anyways. So I'm with them for 5-6 hours a night. School, I don't need the social aspect of it. It just felt like, oh, we're wasting time here.
Right.
We could wrap this up in 4 hours.
Yeah, that's how in middle school I was like, this is and I was in middle school. I was at school until I had gym last period, so my principal would let me leave before gym because I danced 6 hours a day, so I didn't need PE class. But I'd do as much homework as I could from 3 to 3:45. I'd go to dance. I'd be at dance until 10:30. Come home, I'd be up until 1 or 2 doing homework, and I'd get up the next morning at 5:30. Like, I was run so thin, and I was 13 years old, 12, 13.
Yeah.
Like,
It's crazy.
that's crazy.
And then on your weekends off, dance competitions.
Right, I had dance competitions. I was on Saturday mornings, I was working at the studio. Sundays, we had dance all day. 10 a.m. ballet we'd class till 5, 6 p.m.
Well, and I know it's more complex than this, but it's like, and you wonder why you had anxiety?
Yeah.
I know.
It's like,
I wonder where that came from.
get some fucking sleep once in
Right.
a while.
Yes.
I know.
Absolutely.
At least,
and
at
that's
least
where,
a starting point, you know? It's like,
Yeah, and that I feel like I was almost trying to prove, because I didn't want the academic side of it, but I was like, if I'm not going to commit to high achievement academically, which I still I got good grades, I did all the things, but I was like, then I need to go full force at this other thing to prove that I made the right decision in doing. Because there have been 2 people, just Alex and I have graduated from our studio and danced after high school. And Freya now, she's going to be the 3rd. For a studio that they bring, it has nothing to do with the way that they train us, but where we live, people don't, you go and you do something that's going to make you money.
Same. Yeah.
So I was like, I have to do this right. And then I did it right for all those years. And now I'm like, who was I trying to impress?
Yeah.
Did I want to do that? Or?
I think it's. I mean,
like everybody forgets about you. Anyways.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no one cares.
I know. I feel
Nobody
like
cares.
I feel like I'm listening to myself. I'm just like, yeah, like, because it's like the exact same, like, same type of mindset, same type of schedule. But like, I think there was a little bit of like, well, what you're going to be doing is weird, and I don't know what that is, and there's not like a for sure blueprint.
Yeah.
That you're almost trying to figure it out yourself, or like prove it to yourself of, no, I can do this.
Yes.
And the only way that I know how to work hard is extreme.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to make this happen, I have to go extreme, and everyone has to work hard just to be an adult. So mine's weird. I have to go crazy about it. And having that mind, like, when did you know that, like, okay, I'm going to do this for real? To where, like, it turned into, I have to go into overdrive.
I mean, I in like probably 7th or 8th grade
Yeah.
decided that was what I was gonna do.
Did it stay fun for you?
I mean, the dance itself did, but I was a little miserable for a couple years there because I was so anxious all the time. Like, that wasn't fun, but for some reason I still liked dance, and I was never burnt out from dance.
Okay.
Even though I was there and like hyperventilating for half the night. So, and I don't know, like, that's probably just the way, like, I was conditioned that I had to enjoy it. And I did, but I think part of it, like, I didn't know what I was even feeling.
Yeah.
I couldn't, if I did, I probably wouldn't have been so anxious if I was able to, like, actually develop my own opinion about it.
Sure. Because then you could, but it's like, how do you tell a 14-year-old, like, rationalize this work ethic of yours?
Right. And like my parents too were like, this seems unhealthy, but she's telling us she loves it. And they like every year were like, do less. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna do more. I'm gonna do more. And I did love it. It's so two-sided. Like I don't think I'll ever be able to understand it.
I know. I feel like I'm still in the same spot where like it became a job. So then like for it to be fun, and that's where I also went into,
I don't even know what fun is.
Funky brain, because I'm like, well, if it's fun, then you're not taking it seriously enough.
Yeah.
And like if you have fun, that's like a weakness, because you should be just thinking about how hard it is and the work aspect of it. Like I'll have 8-year-olds in class, like I'll be like, okay, what are we gonna work on today? Like, and make sure we have fun. Like they'll say that, and I'm like, really? And I'm like, why am I even thinking that? Like, I should be celebrating that you're having fun, but I can't correlate fun and working hard together.
Yeah, it could be the same thing.
Right. Well, and that's part of like, I try, and it's so hard, but I try not to deflect my experiences onto my students now. Yeah. And I'll start every class, like with the little kids, and I'm like, we need to focus before we can have fun. We can have fun and focus. We can't have fun without focus.
Yeah.
Because it's more so for them, like, and I tell them too, I'm like, you're learning how to dance and you're learning how to behave in a classroom. So it's okay if I have to remind you, but I try and emphasize focus, because that can still be like them laughing and having fun. Yes. But just knowing where their energy should be put. There's a way
to carry yourself.
Yes. And so like, if a kid is like being disruptive and silly, of course I'll correct them, but I have to bite my tongue sometimes, because they're just laughing, or they think that something's silly, and I want to turn around, because that's also that's the standard I was held to, and I want to turn around and be like, we're not laughing right now, but then I'm looking in the mirror and I'm like, this is silly and this is fun. Yeah. Why should I take that away from them?
Because they giggled.
Yeah. And there were definitely times when I would chat too much or make too many jokes, but that is how I expressed myself also. Yeah. And so for a long time, it felt like that was being taken away from me. Like I wasn't allowed to express myself and communicate, when there was definitely a balance, and I had to learn the balance. Sure. But I don't want a kid to feel that way. Like they're not allowed to.
Well, it's like, how do you figure out the balance if everything is just no?
Right.
Like don't be silly at all.
And now
don't talk at all.
I can feel when I'm, because most of the time, and if I'm turning and talking to somebody, it is directly correlated to what we're doing. And so the idea of like the classroom, and even like I'll take a workout class and they're like, so how are we doing today? And I'm like, do not speak unless spoken to.
Yeah, like they're right in front of you.
That's rude. Like someone just said, like, is like engaging with me and I'm like a robot over here. That's not nice. How is that better?
Well, yeah, it's like, now what is the whole energy of the room?
Yeah.
To where
You want it
again,
to be
take
stale?
that kid that's giggling and having fun, everything can be light, and
Yeah.
like learning doesn't have to come from a stressed state. It's probably going to be better if they're enjoying themselves.
Because then they're actually absorbing it versus like,
Scared.
yeah.
They're in fight or flight.
Yeah.
It's like, what information is going to be gained? What is their experience going to be? But it's just like, how does it look? Like a kid is being silly and goofy, that looks less strict and structured. So then we're seeing it as like, this is wrong.
Yeah. And like developmentally, there's obviously places where it's more and less appropriate. And I think that's important. And like even having like, I'll have recreational kids, especially over the summer, just because of their like recreational kids in the same class as a company kid. And it's hard because I am holding them to two different standards. But
Right.
one has been in a dance class since they're 3 years old. They're in the studio 12, 15 hours a week. They should be able to take it a little
Yes.
more seriously than this
Yes.
kid. It's her first dance class. She's like, what the heck are we doing?
Yeah.
And she's giggling and they're like looking at me like, why aren't you doing anything about this? But I'm like, like you're in two different places. And you have to you have to understand that.
Yeah.
I think focus is the perfect word. Because,
Yeah.
like, I think no matter what, whether it's a sport, dance, whatever it is, it's like the loose but focused seems to always be the best place for performance. That's like, if you're so rigid, you don't have the...
Elasticity.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you don't... You're too rigid.
Yeah.
You're too worried about making a mistake a lot of the time.
Yeah.
That's like, loosen up a little, but be focused. Because, like, you know, we'll do ladder drills or we'll do whatever. And it's like, I don't care if you chit chat, but then when it's your turn,
Yeah.
don't hold up the line. Don't like be disruptive or whatever. But it's like, go ahead, chit chat, but then still be focused of, okay, I'm paying attention. Now it's my turn. Now I'm going to do the thing.
Right.
It's like that, I think, is a good class flow and all that sort of stuff, rather than everybody has to be soldiers and not talking and not, because like they're not going to want to dance then. They're not going to want to come back. They're not going to, they're probably not going to get the best out of it either. It's like, you guys started doing dance or kept doing dance because it was fun.
And also
then,
a lot of people do it for the social aspect.
Yeah.
It's an extracurricular activity.
Right.
You should be allowed to socialize, not just...
When these are the only
the-
kids that you potentially talk
Yeah.
to for hours of
Hours.
your week. Like, I remember I did the math one time when I was maybe in like elementary school, and I was like, I see my dance teachers more than I see my parents.
Oh, yeah.
And so
yeah.
then I'm seeing these kids
More
more,
than I
than
see
I'm
my
probably seeing the school
siblings.
kids, my
Yeah.
siblings. Like, if you don't have a relationship with those people and are able to talk to them and like gain that, I think like, okay, maybe that's where sometimes people get weird. Because like,
Yeah.
you're doing this thing for hours on end, but you have no social skills because everything is so tight. And then you add the element of the competition. Like, so now I'm constantly competing with my friends.
Yeah.
What does that turn into? The competition thing to me, like, are you like that with yourself, with your family? Because we talked about that with his siblings too. Like, they are very, very competitive. I don't have that.
No, I wouldn't say... We're all very different. So I don't feel like there have been... With Lucia and I, it was different because we both danced. And we're like, have very different, like, natural gifts. And so, I would never feel like I was competing against her. I don't think she was ever trying to compete against me, but we were put up against each other because we're sisters. And, oh, look, Sophia can do this, but Lucia can do this. And Lucia's younger, and she's coming up on Sophia's heels and blah, blah, blah. And, like, I was like... She barely even cares about it. Like, she was just there simply for the fun of, like, and then once it wasn't fun anymore, she quit.
Yeah.
When she couldn't, like, it wasn't for the socialization anymore, she quit. And then I just didn't care. And then my other siblings, we just are so different. Interests are completely different. And like my brother will make comments about, well, everybody likes you and blah blah blah, and I'm like, I'm not trying, like, I just try and be a pleasant person. And he definitely for a long time resented me because he thought I was just like
trying to be the center of the
and like
attention.
great at everything I do and everybody loves me, and I'm like, and I was like, I don't think you're understanding that I work my
like
booty
I'm
off.
putting an effort to achieve
and like
that.
you at times don't.
Yeah.
And a lot of, and my mom, because he was like, well, you don't struggle with the things that I struggle with. My mom was like, yes, she does. She doesn't let it
She's
control
gonna show
her
it.
life. Yeah.
Sure.
But she was like, my mom was like, did you not come up here last night when she was sobbing on my bed? Like, what are you talking about? And he was like, it's different. But he's grown up, so he, I think,
Understands it a little bit more.
yeah. So it wasn't a competition as much as just
Comparing
we're just
issues
different.
almost.
Yeah, and like it wasn't
Regular
it was never
sibling
my
stuff.
parents. Yeah, it was just us feeling, I don't know.
And that is kind of a middle child usual trait.
Yes.
You know?
You
I think
guys
so.
don't- You're not competitive.
No. And I don't know if that's I do think like a birth order can sometimes matter in families.
I think birth order is a huge thing.
I think as the oldest, I'm not competing. I'm the one that should be setting the tone. So it's like I'm just competing with, I don't know if it's like people my age or what I'm wanting to be, but it's not even competition. It's just like, what tone do you want to set? What standard are you going to set?
Yeah, you're setting the precedent.
Yeah.
That's how I feel a lot. And my parents like will emphasize that with me, and I'll be like, that's great, like you're holding me to a different standard, and they're like, no, you're the example. And like my siblings could hit me, but I couldn't hit them because I was older and I'd set the example. And so for a long time I hated it because I was like, that's not fair.
Right.
And now I do see, I still am like, why dish it out if you can't take it? But
Well, that was me. Like, I'm the youngest, so I could do whatever I wanted. I would jump off the couch and like elbow my brothers,
Yeah.
and then my brothers would do one thing, and my mom would be like, "Hey, knock it off!"
Yeah.
And they're like, "He just like flying kicked me."
yeah,
You're the
You
age.
get the pass when you're younger.
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah.
You're
Now
just
I do,
a little
like-
boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
But now do you feel like that's still the case now that you're all
But now you can
Adults.
hit them.
We never even were like physical kids like to begin with. Like I hit my brother once one day when I was like 3. I got put in timeout. That was the only time I'd ever been in timeout, and the only time I hit my brother. So part of it is just that like I learned, like I'll learn quick. I never wanted to get in trouble. Where like my brother, he insisted. Jude and Lucia don't care much about getting in trouble. My
it would
parents are
break me.
very lax, yeah. But if I think I'm letting somebody down,
See you later.
yeah.
See you later.
Yeah. And then Francesca, she could never do any wrong. She's just a little baby.
Is Sophia an Italian name?
Yes, but
They have
the Italian way to spell it is with an F. I spell it with a PH.
Oh, they didn't want to go full Italian with you, but the other
Yeah,
ones?
I don't know why.
Is that like the full family? Like, are you full Italian?
Not full. My dad is Italian and Norwegian, and then my mom was adopted, so we don't really know what she is.
Got it.
Like, I think she's done a test, but like we still are like unsure the lineage there.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
But we're pretty. I think my dad is most Italian, like more Italian than Norwegian.
Do you guys do a lot of Italian stuff?
We do. On Christmas Eve every year, we make homemade ravioli. We start at like 9 in the morning.
Oh,
Make it all
see?
day. We get
We're
the.
coming for Christmas.
Oh, you
I want to
really
be
should.
Italian so
Absolutely.
bad. It's
Yeah.
so much more my essence.
We
And
have.
it's just cooler.
We used to every year have an event because we have a scholarship foundation. And my family does, and they give money for college scholarships and one
That's
trade
cool.
scholarship. And so to raise money, we used to have Ravioli Fest every year, but now they do Mangia Fest, and we do it like at a restaurant that's like we've been to in our family for years.
Oh, what?
Mangia Fest means eat in Italian. Like,
Okay.
you know, when people say mangia.
Nope.
Okay. Well, it's called Mangia Fest.
Okay.
And
Cool.
yeah, we do that every year. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Is there just Italian flags all around your house?
No, there actually aren't. I feel like
You wear sweatsuits.
Yeah.
Tracksuits.
my family,
Tracksuits.
like,
Gold chain and
I don't know.
tracksuits.
My dad's just not like outwardly anything.
Sure.
Like he's pretty like, but my aunt, my dad's brother and his wife, she's pretty Italian too, and they've had like Italian au pairs and like their kids. They've Elia Valentina. That's their Dario Massimo. Their dog's name is Vincenzo.
So they really dive in.
Yeah.
They dive deep.
Yeah.
They dive deep.
They
That's
sure
cool.
do.
Like usually, like your dad doesn't express anything. And you said he like had a weight transformation.
Yeah.
You showed me 2 pictures, and I'm like, that's not the same guy.
I know.
Did
Yeah.
anything spark that?
Yeah, so there's some heart issues that run on my dad's side of the family. So my grandpa
Could be the pasta.
could be.
Could be the pasta in the veins.
My grandpa
Well, the
died
American
from
pasta.
Oh yeah, true.
The here
right.
pasta.
Well, so yeah. We use like real flour and stuff when we make it, but most of the time that's not what we're eating. But yeah, my grandpa had a heart attack when he was 65 and passed away. And so
That's young.
yeah.
Okay.
So, and he had, I don't know what it's called, some heart condition where basically some aortic something and your heart walls are hard. I should know more about it. So he had that. And so everyone in my family's got high cholesterol and
high blood pressure.
high blood pressure. Yeah, just not great hearts. So my dad was like, shoot, I don't want to have a heart attack when I'm 65. So he got healthy.
That's awesome.
Yeah. He wasn't like majorly unhealthy before. Like he ate not abnormally. Like he would have like raisin bran or an omelet in the morning and a salad for lunch.
Yeah.
It was more his lifestyle just because he worked in an office all day.
Yeah.
He would never really exercise. So now he'll run like 4 or 5 miles a day. He'll
Cool.
walk like some days he'll get 40,000 steps. He won during COVID. His office had like a walking competition and he won by like a landslide. he can get like obsessive. Like he's very regimented. Like he has the same exact breakfast, lunch every single day. His routine, like, but yeah. So he just changed his lifestyle. He cut out like carbs for a while, just initially, and then now he'll like during the week he won't eat a ton of carbs, so that like over the weekend he can like but he
Have a little
doesn't
fun.
track anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, look at my armpits. See all the bumps?
Yeah. Did you use real deodorant? Or
I had to use
fake?
it twice this week because we were teaching and I didn't have the salt. Look what happens.
You guys, you gotta get your all natural deodorant.
And that was from
Myself included.
the deodorant that I did. It's like a better one. Like it's
Yeah.
native. Like it's not.
Oh, you use native?
And that's what did it.
That's what did it.
I've heard that is kind of like native is like not actually natural.
It's not actually native.
Yeah.
No.
Probably.
No.
Like there are some deodorants that are actually just like whatever, but that one I think is like kind of fake.
Fake healthy.
Putting on a face.
I don't know. I decided that once I'm like through, because I got, of course, a Costco pack of secret outlets. Sorry.
So 5 years from now, you'll change.
I don't know. I use a lot of deodorant a day, and I have like one in my gym bag, one in my dance bag.
Sure.
So like, I have faith that I'll go through it, and after that, I'm not buying it again.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I
cannot waste it. I'm too
No, we're the same.
poor.
No,
We're the
I get
same.
that. I get that. The salt stuff that we use, it lasts
Yeah,
so
I can
long.
imagine.
It's wild.
I just
it's
like I
crazy.
know there's gonna be an adjustment period,
Yep.
so I'm just anticipating that. But
Just
that's
wear like
okay.
2 shirts.
I think, and that's where the smell of it, like deodorant never worked for me. So it just didn't really feel like I was losing anything. It's like, okay, I still get sweaty and then
Yeah. My mom says
whatever,
she
but-
sweats significantly less now that she doesn't use
really.
extra or
Yeah.
whatever.
Well, I feel like it almost like clogs your armpit pores.
Yeah, I think that's like science that it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also think eating healthier, I don't smell. So
Yeah.
the salt is just kind of like to keep it antibacterial and
Just,
Yeah.
clean. But yeah, you know us. We're all in
You
on the
know
weird
us.
train. Did you see the video that I I think I posted it on my story too, but where I was just talking about like all the weird shit that I do for health.
Yeah.
Eric messaged me and was like, raw milk? No. Like, absolutely not. I'm like, if anybody should be switching to raw milk, it should be
It's
you because you
you.
drink gallons of regular milk and chocolate milk.
Yeah. Yeah, the milk's just that scares me just because of like, you know, if you get sick, you know.
Yeah.
But I eat raw eggs, so like, what's it? I don't know.
Well, yeah. I think
Don't go down that rabbit hole.
there's just a lot of stuff that we see as weird or bad, and that's why I thought that video was so funny because I'm
Yeah.
like, this is
Well,
what
I
like,
don't
most people
think
used to
that's
do.
Weird. Yeah, I'm not that I think it's weird. It's just like we live in a society where it's almost more challenging to do that.
Yes.
So that's what like
yes.
one just in terms of like where are you gonna find? You have to go to these 2 grocery stores,
Yep.
and then it's expensive too.
Oh, yeah.
So like
Yep.
balling on a budget over here.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I think our
I'll take my low fat
Yeah.
milk. Thank you very much. Where did they put the fat? I don't know. It's not there anymore.
It's not there though.
You're just drinking like white water? No thanks. Yeah. No thanks.
Well, I don't know what kind of. I just kind of like. I don't even know what they mean.
What do you use milk for?
My coffee, like my lattes. So like I don't. Should I use whole milk?
Whole milk would be a little bit better.
Okay,
Yeah.
like I think I'd prefer that.
Yeah, I would. Because
Yeah.
it's more
I would say
processing
don't use
too with
any
when
milk.
you do like the skim and the 1%. Like they're just
That's-
having to mess with
Yeah,
it more.
yeah. No, that makes sense.
But to me, you would want to drink milk because of the fat and the vitamins that you're getting it.
yeah,
to
I
where they're
do.
basically just
That's why I like
stripping it
stopped.
out.
I was like, I don't know why I drink oat milk and almond. Like, why am I doing that?
Yeah.
Those are super processed and a
Unless
lot
you
of
can
times
make it yourself.
sugary.
Right, but I don't like. But why? If I can consume dairy, why would I?
Not. Yeah.
And for a while, I didn't think I could. I would get like terrible stomach aches.
Yeah.
And then I like one day I was like, I'm sick of paying an extra $1 or whatever, so I'm just gonna start like drinking milk in my lattes. I think it was just the sugar that I like. Ice cream just has a lot of
Oh.
processed sugars.
Yeah. Yeah.
And because I would also like a long time ago, I would have it with like milk with cereal, and I'd get a stomach ache. And I think it was just the
The
dairy
amount.
with the sugar.
Yeah.
Because in my I'm completely fine.
Yeah.
And I mean, I eat cheese like the world is made of cheese. Like,
Yeah.
and that's fine. So, yeah, I think.
it could have just been the grams and like
It could've been the other
so
stuff.
much sugar.
Yeah, I think it was that. Because like ice cream will still, I can have it.
Is that your favorite
sometimes.
dessert?
No,
No. Okay, not friends anymore.
What is it?
my favorite dessert.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know. I'm more of a salty girl.
You're salty and sweet.
Yeah, I like a good. What's the word?
I so badly want you to say like the most Italian dessert right now.
Yes.
Cannoli, no. Tiramisu, no. There are these cannolis that my grandma gets that are chocolate hazelnut cannolis, and those are really good. But like a good soft chocolate chip cookie, a brownie.
You just said that last night that you wanted a chocolate
Yeah,
chip
I
cookie.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you live with your grandma.
Yeah.
You're still doing that.
Yeah.
So Italian.
I know that is so Italian to do that. But
Yeah.
you
Do you
don't
guys
call
speak
her grandma.
Italian?
What do you call her?
Sama.
And is that a family thing, or did you just make that up? Is that
My
like what you?
Cousin, my older cousin, like, tried to pronounce grandma when he was little, and it came out Sama. So now we all
Yeah.
call her Sama.
I love those kinds of things.
Santa Claus, Samalama, Samala, because her name is Pamela, so we call her Samala.
Okay.
She's got a lot
It's
of
just
names.
cute.
Yeah.
It's just cute. Yeah, I like things like that. All the nieces and nephews used to call me Corpy, and when they learned how to say my name, I'm like, it's over.
Yeah.
It's over.
I called my uncle Auntie Matthew because he was like my only uncle growing up. I had everyone else in my family was were girls. They were aunts. So I called him Auntie Matthew, and I still do. And people are like, I'm like Auntie Matthew, and people who've never been around our family are like,
Why?
how did that STEM.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, but I'm not gonna dive into it.
Is Matthew a girl name?
Yeah.
Or...
That's his first name is Auntie, and this
Yeah.
is Matthew.
Yeah.
Auntie Matthew.
Yeah.
Can you speak Italian?
No. I know like a couple words.
Hmm.
I knew
Better get on
enough
that.
to like kind of get me by when I was in Italy.
Would you ever move there?
No. I would like for a short period of time. Like 2 years, 3 years.
Sure.
But not permanently.
Long. Yeah.
Like, you know those things, have you seen where it's like, what, this city will pay you $30,000 to move here, and it's like a city in Italy or something?
No.
Oh, because they're, I don't really know why. I should probably look into it more. Not just,
Probably just a scam.
It's a scam.
but like, if somebody paid me $30,000, I'd move there. Moral of the story.
Maybe it's just like, oh, I don't know why. Maybe it's just like to boost their economy, like getting more people
I'm
spending
pretty
money
sure
there.
that's what it is. Like something like that.
Like bring our American money into that.
Yeah, because like the American dollars.
Or it's a scam. Or you
Or
just
it's a
saw.
scam and I'll just move there.
Or that was just a weird ad that you saw on TikTok and you're like, that's a thing.
Checks out. Yeah.
Now, immediately when we wrap, I need to look at your TikToks. I will be expecting them regularly posted.
They are. I actually like for a week didn't post, and Tim was like, "Have you been posting on TikTok?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "You need to be more consistent." Hey, okay.
They're good. I bet they're fabulous. I have the original. I have the first original.
Yeah, you do. That's what inspired me.
Because it was so good. Everybody
Just
loved
felt
it.
so good
It just felt so right.
to be able to talk all the time.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't even need
And for
people
a
to
purpose.
listen.
No, right. The camera is enough.
Yeah,
The camera's enough.
that's all I need.
Any last words?
No.
He's speechless.
Do you have anything to tell everybody?
Anything
Segue
else?
out of this podcast.
Podcast, more like pod last. See you next time.
You're so quick with it.
That's really it.